Welcome to the Glow of Paris podcast. Some bridges dazzle with statues and spectacle. The Pont de Tolbiac does something far more haunting. It hides its power behind modest stone, carrying a legacy shaped by war, industry, and sacrifice. From a king's vow on a distant battlefield to a burning bomber falling toward the Seine, this bridge has stood witness to moments that altered the course of France. Today, we learn the history that still breathes beneath the quiet surface. The name Tolbiac reaches back over 1,500 years. It comes from the Battle of Tolbiac, fought in 496 AD between the Franks and the Alemanni. The Alemanni were an early Germanic tribe. In that battle, Clovis I led the Franks to a decisive victory, a victory that ended the Alemanni dominance in the region. Tradition tells us that during this battle, Clovis vowed to convert to Christianity if he prevailed. He did win, and that moment became a turning point in the formation of what would become France. Interestingly, the bridge itself did not originate the name. It was the nearby Rue de Tolbiac that came first, and the bridge simply inherited that historic name. The story of the bridge itself begins in the 19th century. In 1874, a competition was launched to design and build a new river crossing here. Among the competitors was the firm of Gustave Eiffel, who proposed a bold and modern iron bridge. But in a decision that may surprise many, Eiffel's innovative design was rejected. Instead, the project was awarded to the engineers Bernard and Pérouse. Construction took place between 1879 and 1882. And with its completion, the Pont de Tolbiac earned a unique distinction. It became the last bridge in Paris to be built using stone masonry. So in many ways, the Pont de Tolbiac marks the end of an era. When the bridge was first proposed, this part of Paris was very different from what we see today. On the right bank lay Bercy, a booming hub of commerce, especially known for wine storage, transport, and trade. The goal of the bridge was practical and economic, to connect this thriving industrial district on the right bank to the left bank and to the southern parts of the city. Today, that connection still defines the bridge's purpose. On the right bank, the bridge links to the green spaces of the Parc de Bercy and the lively Cour Saint-Emilion. On the left bank, it leads directly to the striking modern complex of the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, the French National Library. The Great Flood of 1910, though it came after the bridge's construction, served as a dramatic reminder of the Seine's power. The waters rose high enough to paralyze the city, reinforcing the importance of strong, resilient infrastructure. The Pont de Tolbiac stood as a part of that resilient infrastructure. But perhaps the most moving chapter in the bridge's story came during World War II. On the morning of October 3, 1943, during the Second World War, a tragedy unfolded above the Seine. A French aircraft, a Douglas Boston bomber, was returning from a successful Allied bombing raid targeting a power station outside of Paris. The crew members were part of the Free French Air Force and part of the Lorraine Bombardment Group operating with the English Royal Air Force. Their orders had been clear. If forced down over Paris, avoid civilian casualties, ditch in the Seine. As they returned from the successful mission, the aircraft was hit by heavy German anti-aircraft fire. The right engine caught fire. At the controls was 27-year-old Lieutenant Yves Lamy. Knowing he could not stay aloft, he headed towards the Seine. The plane hit the Pont de Tolbiac, then crashed into the river, killing all 4 crew members. Lieutenant Yves Lamy, Adjutant Balsayen, Sergeant Roussari, Sergeant Junio. They died not only in the service to France, but also in an effort to protect the civilians below them. Today, if you walk to the center of the bridge, you will find a plaque. It is simple, it is quiet, but it carries immense weight. It honors these 4 airmen who made the ultimate sacrifice in the skies over Paris. The bridge, once built to carry commerce and daily life, became also a place of remembrance. The Pont de Tolbiac is not a bridge that demands attention, but perhaps that is precisely its power. It is a bridge of transitions, from ancient battles to modern engineering, from stone construction to industrial innovation, from commerce to culture, from war to memory. It connects not just two sides of the Seine, but centuries of history. As we continue exploring the bridges of Paris, we will discover that each one, no matter how simple, carries its own glow. Thank you for joining me today on the Glow of Paris podcast. This is Gary Zerker saying, see you next time and a biento.